see why you guys don't know that you have an exam, because I mean, you guys should know that there's an upcoming exam. Let's start today on this page, page 28. Okay, and as we do it every time, we're going to look at some of the vocabulary here. And let's see if anyone knows the meaning of immediately. I know it's Monday morning, guys, but you have to participate. I think we all know what immediately means, right? Where is everyone? What does it mean? Immediately. Quickly, right now. Come here right now. Come here immediately. Get out immediately. That means right away. Don't know time wasted. Okay, unbelievably. Believable, unbelievable. What is unbelievably?
Maybe it's something that you can explain, like, I am so happy, but I am so happy.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, unbelievably is you can't believe. Like what you say it when you can express. You're right. Like what you just said, Akio. It's like that. It's like I'm unbelievably happy. That means I am extremely happy. Unbelievable is a super later word. It's like believable is like when you can believe something, but unbelievable is when it's unexpected and you can't really explain. Someone can be unbelievably angry, unbelievably hungry, unbelievably happy. It just means that, something to an extreme. Basically, this is it's an extreme. It's an extreme level of something. I'm kind of hungry is not as extreme as I'm unbelievably hungry. That's like I can't even explain. You won't believe how hungry I am. Okay, unfortunately.
Not luck.
Mm-hmm.
Not very luck.
Yeah. So it's a situation when you have a bad luck. So unfortunately, the class was canceled. Unfortunately, I failed my exam. Unfortunately, the bus did not come on time. So anything that's obviously not good. It's like a official way of saying it. You'll see it in a lot of emails and stuff. It's a professional way of saying, oh, unfortunately, this happened. People don't really say that when they're talking with friends and stuff. They don't say, oh, unfortunately, it's not common. Extremely. Very? Extremely. Very? Yes, that's correct. Extremely means very. Frantic. This is a hard one. So frantic is like kind of crazy. You're frantically searching for someone. Frantic is basically crazy. 5 minutes later, okay, everyone knows what that means. I don't know why that's a word, 5 minutes later. So 5 minutes later is after 5 minutes. Last year is last year. So 2020 would be last year. Okay, normally.
Usually.
Slightly.
Peter.
Very good. Yeah. So looks like these are words that you use, when you're telling a story and like you want to stop and say a word, like when I say like, it's like I'm filling my gaps. People say, like, so instead of that, you can say, these words when you're saying a story or you're telling your friend, how was your day? You can basically use these. Oh, I was unbelievably late to work today. And then when I came into work, I immediately sat down and I started working. It was an extremely difficult day for me. I normally don't eat, I normally take an hour to eat lunch, but today I took only 10 minutes. So these are little words you would use when you are, telling a story or telling your friend about an incident that happened. So these are, great words to know. And here we have some other words here. Beg. What does that mean?
Ask.
Mhm.
Ask.
Very good. Ask. It's basically asking someone for anything. But you can beg anyone for when you really need something, when you're desperate, you can be like, please, please, I'm begging you, do this for me or give me this. Frantic, it's very worried, almost to a point of crazy, like when you're like going crazy, basically. So worried that you're going crazy. Fabulous is a great word. Fabulous, it means wonderful. You can say the movie was fabulous. The book was fabulous. The meal was great. You're a fabulous cook. You're a fabulous singer. That's an adjective. So it's a great word to use instead of just saying awesome or amazing all the time. You can say, oh, it's fabulous. Intake, a strange word. It's when you eat or drink. You don't really use this word ever. Like a doctor would use this word, but not normal people. Smoothie, I think we all know what that is. It's like a fruit juice. We all love a smoothie. And so now I want you guys to read me these little paragraphs. Who would like to go first? This light I have here is very strong. But if I turn it off, you can't really see me. So it's either a lot of light or kind of dark. So I'll just leave it dark.
No.
Who would like to go? She recognized the writing on the envelope immediately. The fortune teller had warned her that she had no future with him. Yet there he was, 5 lonely years after their last meeting, begging her to join him in New York. She felt unbelievably happy as she stepped on board the Titanic. Okay, so looks like a girl is going to see a guy in New York. Okay, who wants to read this section?
I go.
Ready?
All right.
Okay, it's me, Ellie. My house looks as if it's been hit by a bomb. Since I'm terrible at organizing, I bought a new book, Key to Organizing Your Life. I felt so proud. I started cleaning the bookcase. 5 minutes later, I couldn't believe my eyes. I bought the same book last year.
Okay, so what did this paragraph say? Anyone?
니다나타 코치에
Basically, she found the same book again in her house, right? She had a book. And then when she was cleaning the bookcase, so bookcase is where you put all your books. She had bought the same book last year. So she bought a book, she was reading it, then she went to clean the bookcase and she found the same book. Okay, number C.
Can I read?
Yeah, anyone can read. You guys can decide who wants to read.
He was worried. Unfortunately, since his wife's death, his teenager daughter had become extremely difficult. They had agreed 2 a.m. as she lasted return time from nightclubs. Now it was 3:30. He prepared himself for confrontation as the door opened. "Dad," she shouted angrily, "I've been frantic. You're late again."
Okay, so what did we get out of this? Anyone?
She wife died and she teenager daughter had changed. Had changed.
So after the mom died, the daughter is always partying, right? She's partying at nightclubs, and she's coming home really late at 3:30 at night. So it's really late for a young girl to come that late. So his dad is not happy. He's shouting, right? He shouted angrily, "I've been frantic. You're late again." So I've been very worried like crazy. All right, D.
Okay. Stage 1. Feel fat. Go on diet. Lost weight. Feel February. Buy new clothes. Stage 2. Eat normal but control intake. Look friendly. New clothes. Slate tight. Stage 3. Eat and drink normally. Potatoes, bread, pasta and smooth. New clothes don't fit. Old clothes thrown away. Back to stage 1.
So this is funny because it's saying how a diet goes, right? So people go on diet, they lose some weight, they feel good, they buy some new clothes. But then what happens is that after a while, they, stop their diet a little. They still look good, but they're getting a little bigger again because, they're eating normally again. But what happens in stage 3 is that they eat and drink normally again, which means all these food, technically they say it's crazy, but the doctors will tell you that, potatoes, bread, pasta, these are actually very bad for you. If you eat these things, you'll gain weight. They say to eat, whole grain fruits and vegetables, according to doctors. So according to doctors, these are actually bad for gaining weight. But obviously normal people, that's what they eat. And when they eat this in big portions, for lunch, dinner, every day. So basically what happens is that people lose that ability to diet, right? Because you can only diet so long. You can't diet forever, right? You can diet for 1 month, 2 months, but what happens after is that eventually you're going to go back to your normal diet. And when you do that, you will eventually gonna go back to your normal body shape. And that's what this says. Okay, I want you guys to see, okay, look at the highlighted adverbs or adverbial phrases in the stories. Think about what they mean and notice their position in the sentence. Write them in the correct place in the chart. Okay, so they're telling you to find the meaning of these words, the type of adverbs. Not really necessary. Like what is time? So shortly, immediately, when we were reading that stuff, that's like the adverbs of time. Manner is slowly. Searching for you frantically, that's also, how you do something. So when you were reading these words, they're saying, how can we place these words? It's kind of not necessary. Degree is like describing how much, vary. So the words vary, and extremely would be adverbs of degree, means how much is it? What's the level of it? Is it a bit? Is it a lot? So that means degree. When I'm trying to say how much was it? Was I very hungry? Was I a little hungry? Was I very, very tired? Was I slightly tired? So these are adjectives of degree. And then comment is, luckily. So you can say, oh, luckily I passed the exam, or luckily I got the bus. So unfortunately would be another one. Normally would be another one. These are just telling you what kind of words these are. So, yeah. Okay, this is kind of good for you. He speaks Chinese and Spanish. Okay, and then we have to use this adverb, right? Fluently. So what does he do fluently? Where would this word go in this sentence? So let me just tell you that the first one is correct. It would be just like it is. So if you say he speaks Chinese and Spanish fluently, you were going to say this word fluently after. You're not going to say he speaks fluently Chinese and Spanish. If you wanted to say fluently before, you would say fluent. He speaks fluent Chinese and fluent Spanish. But in this case, he speaks Chinese and Spanish fluently. Okay, but the second one is not going to be the same. You'll have to change this word. You have to put it somewhere here. I use public transportation, but it says hardly ever. So how can we put this phrase in this sentence? Where are we going to put it?
I hardly ever use public transportation.
So, yeah. I hardly ever use public transportation. Not I use hardly ever, or I use public transportation hardly ever. Okay. I thought I'd lost my phone, but it was in my bag. Where would fortunately go here?
Fortunately,
I thought I'd lost my phone, but fortunately it was in my bag.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, so you guys are good at this. You seem to understand. Yeah, that's it. It sounds right. It's right. So it's important that you arrive on time. Where would extremely be here?
Maybe it's extremely
Very
important.
Good. Yes, got it. Last one. As soon as I know, I'll tell you.
as soon as I know right way, I will tell you.
No, actually, it would be the way it is. As soon as I know, I'll tell you right away. First, he'll know, or she will know as soon as I know. After knowing, he'll tell it right away. So that's the correct composition here. You could say as soon as I know, right away, I'll tell you. You can say that. It won't be wrong, but it'll be kind of awkward. The way this is, it's perfectly fluent. Like the flow is good here. It's not awkward. Okay, so practice some more grammar. Okay, we're on page 29. Let's see what kind of grammar we have here. 130. Okay, so again, these adverbs of, where would the adverbs go? Can you guys read this to me? Read these sentences for me, because it's good for you to practice. Because when you practice saying these, you will know how it makes sense. He walks very slowly, right? I speak 5 languages fluently. The driver was seriously injured in the accident. So we can see how we're placing these adverbs, right? Walks, how does he walk?
Slowly.
Correct. And how does he speak 5 languages? Does he speak it well or like kind of badly? Doesn't really have the fluency. Fluently, right? I speak 5 languages fluently. So he speaks it, or he or she speaks it. Okay, I. Yeah, so I speak 5 languages fluently. Fluently, does anyone know what that means?
Speaks very well.
Very well, yeah. So the driver was seriously injured in the accident. How was he injured?
Seriously.
Mm-hmm. Okay, read the next one for me, guys.
I hardly ever have time for breakfast. Liam's always late for work. I would never have thought you were 40.
Very good. So again, like notice how they're using these adverbs, where they're placing it. I hardly ever have the time, right? Liam's always late for work. Not that Liam's late for work always. It goes, always, then what does he do? I would have never thought you were 40. Like I would have never thought that if you place this never anywhere else, it would not make sense, right? It only makes sense when you place it here. Okay, number 3.
My parents will be here in half an hour. It rained all day yesterday.
Mm-hmm. So again, these are timing. My parents will be here in half an hour. You can also say, in half an hour, my parents will be here. But this is also good. So the time is usually before or after the sentence when you're talking about time, right? It's usually the time, in half an hour, the class will be over. In half an hour, I'm gonna leave. In half an hour, I'm gonna eat, or I'm gonna eat in half an hour. So the timeline goes either before the sentence or after the main clause. Again, it rained all day yesterday. Or you can say all day yesterday, it was raining. Again, so timing will be either in the beginning of the sentence or in the ending of the sentence. Okay, number 4.
I'm nearly finished. We are incredibly tired. My husband works a lot, but he doesn't earn much.
Mm-hmm. So these are degree adverbs. Nearly finished. That means almost finished. In this case, nearly is almost. And, near is close, but nearly is almost, okay? Incredibly tired. Again, these are how tired? Incredibly. You can also say we're unbelievably tired, like that word we learned before. We can say, we're extremely tired. So these are adverbs of degree. How tired? Incredibly. Finished how much? Almost, right? How much does my husband work? He works a lot. But does he earn a lot? No, but he doesn't earn much. So as you can see, there is no formula for these things. Some of them can be in the beginning and the end, but it's all about, these are all about, like I was saying before, with English, you know when you hear it, it's right or not, because you guys said all these ones correctly, right? The ones we did here. Or I think, oh, I don't know where it is now. Okay, yeah, in that other page. So this is more of, you pick it up by your ear, you know, these kind of adverbs. They kind of make sense when you speak them like that. There's no learning with a formula or anything here. Last one here is, unfortunately, the package never arrived. Ideally, we should leave here at 10. So again, these are, you can kind of think that unfortunately or ideally goes before what was the unfortunate. What was unfortunate? That the package never arrived. So that makes sense that it goes before, right? What was unfortunate was that, then, right? Unfortunately, we can change this, right? And say something else. Unfortunately, what? Say something bad. Unfortunately, my internet was disconnected. So unfortunately, then something happened. Ideally, again, ideally we say it when it's opposite to unfortunate. Ideally is the opposite. It's like, ideally, you know, something, we should leave here at 10. Ideally, I should get an A. It means, you know, ideally, I should be the best, right? Ideally, something should happen in the perfect situation. Ideally, I should pass all my classes. Ideally, I should have a great job. You know, so these things, they will go beginning in the beginning of what is the case. Adverbs can describe action. So you read that. You already know that. He walks slowly. Slowly is the adverb here. How does he walk? So adverbs can describe an action. So he walks is an action, right? That's an action. Walking is an action. He walks is the action. But describing the action, how does he walk? Slowly. Or modify the adjectives. Okay, don't think too much means that, again, incredibly. We already read these things. Incredibly expensive, very hard. Okay, we already went through this. Okay, adverbs of frequency. Okay, so this is time again. Frequency is time. Okay, sometimes, usually, normally, can be used in the beginning of a sentence for emphasis. Okay, so normally I come to English class at 8:30 a.m. Sometimes I don't come to class. Okay, usually I do my homework after class. So I used all these words in the beginning of the sentence. Okay, you can use these again as fillers instead of saying, oh, like I'm really, okay, like I go to class, like I go to class at 8:30 every day. Instead of saying like I go to class or I go to class, you can say usually I go to class. That makes it sound more cool, you know, as if you're not saying like. So this is to sound more like you know what to say, you know. These things, if you say sometimes or usually, just makes your sentence more advanced. Adverbs of time and place, they usually go, yeah, so like I was saying, of time and place, you know, here in half an hour. So you say it after the sentence or in the beginning if you want. But, you know, usually if you say it in the beginning, you'll have to change the whole thing. But so if you leave it after, when are my parents coming? In half an hour. When did it rain? All day yesterday. Again, adverbs of degree, we already did this. Extremely, very, etc. Okay. A lot and much. How much does he work? A lot, right? Also degree. It's giving you a level of what that is. And these are comment adverbs: luckily, basically, clearly. Oh, basically, you know, something. Oh, clearly he's not in class, or obviously I'm going to class today, or luckily I did not miss my train. So these are again words that go well together. Normally, luckily, usually, they're all the same. Okay, enough of this stuff. I was on page 28. Some speaking, maybe. Listen to some sound effects and short dialogues, and use the bold verbs to complete the sentence. Okay, listening.
One. Oh no. Two.
Oh, what happened to the music?
Three. Can I see your boarding pass?
Oh no, I lost it. Where is it? Where is it?
I'm afraid you can't fly if you don't have your boarding pass.
Oh, here it is. Thank goodness. It was in my pocket.
4. Tom, this is Andrea. But of course, you two know each other, don't you?
Actually, we've only met once, so not really. Hi, Andrea.
Hello. 5.
I can't see a thing. I think we'd better stop for a little bit.
6.
Excuse me. Please, could you tell me how to get to the train station?
Sure, dude. Right down Main Street, left at the light, straight through the underpass, and then it's right in front.
Pardon?
Okay, so did you guys understand what you have to do? When she got to the bus stop, the bus just left, right? We can complete the sentence. We don't really need the audio, right? It's all here. When she got to the bus stop, the bus just what? Okay, let's open up a page here. When got to the bus stop, the bus just what?
Left.
Yes. What is left? Is it past or present?
Past.
Past. Very good. Okay, we did the first one. Oh. All right, second one. They were having a party when suddenly. Okay, yeah, we need to hear it again because okay, let's hear it a bit more. Yeah.
2.14. 1.
Oh no.
2.
Oh, what happened to the music?
3.
Can I see your boarding pass?
Oh no, I lost it. Where is it? Where is it?
I'm afraid you can't fly if you don't have your boarding pass.
Oh, here it is. Thank goodness. It was in my pocket.
4. Tom, this is Andrea. But of course, you two know each other, don't you?
Actually, we've only met once, so not really. Hi, Andrea.
Hello. 5.
I can't see a thing. I think we better stop for a little bit.
6.
Excuse me. Please, could you tell me how to get to the train station?
Sure, dude. Right down Main Street, left at the light, straight through the underpass, and then it's right in front.
Pardon?
Okay, so let's just do this a bit easily on a break room. So you guys can do it together. You can discuss it. Okay, so I'm gonna post the questions on.
Excuse me, someone can share the file, please? The questions.
Okay, that is.
Um,
Okay. Number 2, they were having a party when
suddenly,
I think suddenly the music stopped.
what?
The music stopped.
Music out. Okay. But I think she out with electronic. But okay. Okay. Number 3. Okay.
Hi.
She's
Fala, hoje é dia 20.
but luckily it was in she bag.
Isn't his back?
Yes, luckily
No.
it was as she's back.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, number 4, the woman saw Aria and Tom were friends, but in fact they just meet once, hardly to know each other. Can you listen to me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think number 4 is in fact they only just meet once, hardly to know each other. They just meet once. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, number 5. Driver could say where she was going because the place hard to say. What is you get, Luna?
I think that John couldn't understand the man because she said incredibly fast.
Incredibly fast.
Yeah, said
Okay.
incredibly fast.
Okay. Okay. Number 6. John couldn't understand the man because she said very fast. She said incredible fast.
Oh yeah.
Yes. She said incredible fast. Oh, thank you, Luna. Thank you, Lucas. Thank you, Damito. Okay. The teacher say we should have a test.
Today?
Test. The teacher was saying. We in this week we have a test. Yes or no? No, she won't say right.
Yeah. I never heard that. Yeah.
Okay, all the students are back. So I think you guys got it. Let's just quickly check the answers. So
You don't hear the
what would it be? I'm even giving you a hint. Something about the music, right? What happened to the music suddenly?
Stopped.
Yes, very good. Number 3. He thought he lost his boarding
Pass.
but luckily
It was in she bag.
it was in his bag. Very good. Okay, number 4, the woman thought Andrea and Tom were friends, but in fact,
They only just meet once, hardly to know each other.
yeah, very good. Both are correct. They hardly know each other because, again, like Alvin was saying, because they only met once. Very good. So both of these sentences are correct, grammatically correct. And in this case, just because we have to use this one, just because it's asking for hardly, but the sentence here, because they only met once, is also correct. The driver couldn't see where he was going because, yeah, I didn't hear this one. What was it? Couldn't see where he was going because, does anyone remember? It was raining hard or something?
Yes, I think he can see he can see the
Oh, it was hard to see. But
yes.
Well, because it was hard to see. Yeah. Number 6, Juan couldn't understand the man because
He said incredibly fast.
he was incredibly fast. Right? He was incredibly fast is right, but you can also say he spoke. Right? Spoke. Past of speak is spoke because he spoke incredibly fast. Or if you don't want to do that, you can say he was incredibly fast. But this only makes sense because you know that he was speaking, right? Because you heard the recording. If you didn't know that he was speaking, then you would have to specify what he was doing fast. So spoke fast. Okay. Vocabulary again. Read another 50-word story. That's cool. It's only 50 words. Okay, who is it? Who's going to volunteer to read the story?
Yes.
Please read it.
Okay, I'm nervous. It was nearly 4 a.m. and she could hardly keep her eyes open. She had been working hard since lunchtime, but the exam was near. Would she be able to finish on time? At 9 the next morning, she was in the classroom. Okay, she said, you can start now.
Very good. Okay, so, who is it about? That's funny. That's so weird. Who is it about? It's about a girl, right? It doesn't say who it's about. It just says, who is it about? So she, right? And then who is she? Probably a student, right? Because she's talking about exam. So this basically a female student. And second question is, what's the difference? Yeah, this is a good one. What's the difference between hard and hardly? You know, because we have both here. She could hardly keep her eyes open. She had been working hard. So as you can see, the meaning is different. One hard here is difficult, right? Oh, wait, she's been working hard. No, that's not the meaning of hard. This hard would be a lot, right? She had been working hard since lunchtime. So in this case, hard will not be difficult because then that doesn't really make sense. She had been working difficult since lunchtime. That's wrong. So that won't be difficult. And hard, the other meaning would be, you know, not hard as in like soft and hard, but hard like in a lot in this case. It's like working hard, studying hard. It's in this case, it's a lot. But hardly is what?
Impossible.
No, it's actually not a lot. Hardly would be she could hardly keep her eyes open. So
Difficult.
yeah,
Difficult.
not really. You know, it's like she could hardly, like it's like she could hardly eat. You know, it's like she can't eat. She can't keep her eyes open. In that sense, it's hardly. It's like she almost cannot. You know, like it's very. This one is a bit tough. It's difficult, yeah, but it was whoever said difficult, yeah, that makes sense. It was hard. It was difficult to keep her eyes open. In that sense, it's hardly. When it's something is very difficult to do, yeah, that's a good way of explaining it. But that's not difficult though. Don't think that that's you can't use it like you would use difficult in the sentence, right? You can't say. Okay, let's see. She could hardly keep her eyes open, right? She could hardly keep her eyes open would literally translate to it was difficult for her to keep her eyes open. So it's, you know, it's difficult for her. She could hardly keep her eyes open. So it's like almost can't, cannot. Okay. So hardly
Не в эфире пишет.
means
Так.
almost cannot.
Ты здесь?
Да.
Не в эфире, говорит. Я вас
Because it's
не
hard to
слышу.
do
А,
something,
вот.
so you almost
Алло?
can't do it.
Да,
It's a tricky one. And then we
У
have
нас есть группа.
near and nearly. Similar.
Короче, так получилось, что я
We have
в
both
один
here,
момент
right? It was nearly
мне
4
работы было
a.m.,
мало.
but the exam was near. So what is the first meaning of near?
Потом, в общем, потом
Almost coming.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And what about nearly?
Close.
Yeah. Yeah. So you see how the placement here is a bit, as you can see, the near is in the end, the exam was near, right? But something is nearly 4 a.m. It's nearly time for the exam. You know? Now the exam is near, right? But it is nearly time for the exam. So you see what the difference is? Yeah. That's it. That's it. It's pretty easy if you see it, visualize it, right? See, the exam is near. It's nearly time for the exam. Okay, very good. Okay, so now we're gonna do some, together we're gonna do some pronunciation. So I'm gonna, first let's just do the pronunciation and then we can see if we know the meaning of all the words.
Друзья, сегодня
So
наша
how
первая
do we
тема.
pronounce actually? So is it actually? Everyone? Actually?
Actually.
Actually.
Actually. Okay. Almost.
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 Okay, again, almost.
Almost.
Very good. Okay, this one is a bit hard. Apparently.
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 Okay, I did it a bit weirdly. It's actually apparently, my bad. Apparently.
Apparently.
Okay, let's do it again. Apparently.
Apparently.
Okay, good. Basically.
Basically.
So it's not basically, it's basically.
Basically.
Mhm. Very good. Definitely.
Definitely.
Again, definitely.
Definitely.
Okay. Even.
Even.
Again, even.
Even.
Okay. Eventually.
Eventually.
Again, eventually.
Eventually.
Fortunately.
Fortunately.
Again.
Fortunately.
Good. Okay. Gradually.
Gradually.
Again. Gradually, yes. Ideally. Again. Ideally. Very good. Incredibly. One more time. Incredibly.
Incredibly.
Very good. Okay. Luckily. Again.
Luckily.
Luckily. Yeah. Luckily. Obviously. Very good. Again.
Obviously.
Mm-hmm. And the last one is unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Again.
Unfortunately.
Very good. So as you can see, all these words are ending in, most of them are ending in what? Actually, apparently, basically, right? Definitely, gradually. They all have a similar ending, okay? And they're all what? They're all adverbs. So they're all adverbs. What are adverbs? What's an adverb?
What describe the verb?
Sorry?
The thing that describe the verb?
Exactly. Very good. So easy, right? Okay, so I think you know the meaning of almost all of these, right? You know the meaning of actually. It means what? Really. But it was actually the case. That means actually means really. Almost, you know what that means. Almost, right? Apparently, does anyone know what that means?
Obviously.
Yeah, apparently means actually, obviously. It's apparent, like you can see it. The word comes from apparent, what means that what can be seen. So something that's really obvious is apparently. Okay, basically, we all know what that is. Oh, you say that, basically this was the case, these are just filler words. Definitely, I'll definitely be there for sure, 100%. Definitely we use for, when we're absolutely sure about something. I definitely went to class today. Like it's not, maybe I went to class. I know if I went to class or not, right? It's a sure fact. Even is like, oh, she wasn't even there. She didn't even eat. So I'm trying to think how to explain that even word. It's like not even, eventually we know that eventually is like in time. Eventually she is doing like this now, but eventually she'll be better. Like she could be like, oh, right now she doesn't study, but eventually she will have to study. So like right now something is happening, but eventually means in time. Sorry?
Eventually, times.
Any questions? Sorry, guys. If you have any question, just feel free to stop me, okay? Because it's hard to know on Zoom if someone has a question because I can't see you guys all at once. I can only see, even if yeah. So let me know if you have questions. Fortunately, you know that it's luckily. Gradually is, so gradually is like eventually, but it's like slowly. Eventually is like later almost. Eventually would be like, later she will do something. Eventually something will happen. Gradually is similar, but when it's like something is, I'm gradually learning English, you're gradually learning it. You don't learn something in a day. You gradually learn physics, you gradually learn English, you gradually learn a new language because it's a gradual. It happens slowly. It builds up. And ideally is, ideally I would like to have $1 million. Okay, ideally I would like to be like, Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk. I mean, ideally I would like that, but in reality, maybe that's not possible. This is hypothetical. Incredibly is a great word. I really like this word. You can say, she's incredibly nice, or, you can use this word any way you want, in a positive or in a negative way. It's a versatile word, The food was incredibly bad, like it's so bad that even though incredibly is supposed to be a positive word, like people say it even to show how bad something is. It's a very superlative kind of word, Incredibly means extremely something. Usually the meaning of the word is good, but people use it in a negative sentence too. Luckily, you all know, obviously, and unfortunately, you also know. All right, so let's take about a 5-minute break. Take a drink of water, go to the bathroom, eat a fruit, and yeah, come back in 5 minutes. And run away because no one likes writing, right? So, but you gotta practice a little bit. Did the other teacher that was here in class on, I think it was Thursday and Friday, did they do any writing with you? So you have to come up with a short story, like a couple sentences. So let's see, this is 50 words. So you need 50 words. So basically this much. So how many sentences? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Say let's about 4 sentences. Okay. I'm going to put you in a group. Try to come up with 4 sentences because for the exam, there is a writing section. And, you know, it would be nice to try to write some stuff here. So you can pick, you know, you can pick, you either can, I can make 4 rooms and each room can do one of them. So maybe room 1 can do the summer romance. Room 2 can do a day to forget. Room 3 can do the lie, and room 4 can do never again. So basically just write a couple sentences, not just one sentence, but at least, you know, 3 to 4 sentences about these things, right? It's not that hard. Think of a time when you liked a boy or a girl, right? And then what happened? That should be easy and fun, right? Oh, like, yo, I like this guy, you know, last summer. And then, you know, things didn't work out very good. Something bad happened or good happened. So I think you should try it, and then we can see how it goes. So okay, room 2. You're doing a day to forget. Have fun.
May I ask you something? We need to do the small text about the day to forget.
Yes.
Okay.
15 words.
Let's go.
15 words.
Okay. Let's go.
Huh? Die to forget.
Date forget. Okay.
You finish?
No, almost done. I can read for you. The day I would like to forget was when I first felt the cold of Canada, because I had never felt cold in my life. I'm a Brazilian, and in Brazil, it hardly snows or
Okay, so group number 1. What do we have for summer romance? You can type your sentences in the chat box. If you don't have anything, let's move to group 2. For group 2, we had a day to forget. Any sentences?
Lucas finished. Yeah.
Yeah, so type it in the chat box here. Let's see what the sentence is. Don't feel shy.
Lucas.
Yeah, the writing is hard, right? The day, okay, so Lucas wrote, the day I would like to forget was when I first felt the cold of Canada. Because I had never felt cold in my life, I'm Brazilian, and in Brazil, it hardly snows or winds the way it winds in Canada. Very good. Great try. I think everything is good here. A little change maybe would be when I first felt the cold of Canada. Yeah, cold in Canada. First felt the cold in Canada. So, you say the weather is in somewhere, not the weather of, but, you say the cold is in the, it's a cold will be in Canada. I have, because I had never, yeah, that's correct, felt cold in my life. That's correct. You can put a full stop after my life and then begin a new sentence. I'm Brazilian, and in Brazil, it hardly snows, or winds is not a word. Winds is, windy is a word, but it wouldn't really fit here because it hardly snows, or windy won't really make sense here. You can say I'm Brazilian, and in Brazil, it hardly snows and is never windy. So you can say, and it's never windy.
Okay.
Yeah, the way it is in Canada. Yeah, this part is correct, in Canada. So usually we say in Canada. So yeah, off Canada would be like the weather of Canada, but even then we'll say the weather in Canada. That was very good. Okay, does anyone else have anything here? The third one I think was the lie.
Can I text in the chat box?
Yes, please. Okay, so one day my parents told me we were going to the park, but suddenly I realized that we were going to the dentist. And when we arrived, he took me inside the office. And when the doctor finished, he gave me a candy. Very good. It's great. It's exactly, you stuck to the theme. Now, a couple corrections here. Not much. Very minor would be one day my parents told me we were going to the park. This is correct. But suddenly I realized, so it's, realized, you realized.
Okay.
That we were going to the dentist. And when we arrived, again, so you have everything correct, but just you have to make it past tense. When we arrived, so ed, arrived, they took me inside the office, and when the doctor again finished, he gave me a candy. So very good. Just to make the realized, arrived, and finished, because it's all in the past. And yeah, that's also one thing. When you're saying a story, it's usually, it's in the past, because by the time the story has happened and someone is telling it, it's usually in the past, because, the story happened before. So Michelle, this happened to Michelle before she told it to you. So that's why it's all in the past, because that's how I was telling you, like, everything is based on time. So stories are usually said in the past tense, because by the time someone is telling the story, all these things have already happened. So now this in the past. Okay, last one we had, never again. So if you have something, paste it on the chat.
Maybe I will never drink again. Basically, stop alcohol.
Yeah, that's very good. I mean, when I see that, that's what I think, When I see the word never again, I think about a party situation where someone did something and, they never want to do it again. So how would we say that? So one day, me and my friends, let me just write it for you. One day, me and my friends went to a party. Okay, it's the first sentence. We were dancing and drinking beer. Talking about alcohol in class. Don't tell the school, okay? We were drinking and dancing. We were dancing and drinking beer. We were having a great time, but some of my friends had too many beers and felt really sick. So the sentence is a bit long, but not hard, right? We were having a great time, but some of my friends had too many beers. It happens every time, right? And felt really sick. I told them to never again drink so much. So pretty easy, right? 4 sentences, story, not a story, but that's it. This is never again drink so much. You could say, never again am I going to take the plane again. Something bad happened to you on the plane. Never again am I going to go to the Italian restaurant again because, the meat was uncooked. So anything basically you're never going to do again. Doesn't have to be drinking, okay? All right. So I want to, before I go ahead and teach you more things, I want to see what the test is about, because tomorrow there's going to be a test, and the guy, the teacher that taught you on last week, because my internet connection I had to install a new internet at my house. So I wasn't taking your class, but the teacher that took your class said he made you practice some exercise for the exam, right? I need someone to confirm. Is that correct? Okay, let me see. You had a listening test on September 16th. So on Thursday, the last day of class, you had a practice test, right? Practice test. Yes. So a test like that you'll see tomorrow. So let's see a test, a practice test before, and forget about the book for today, okay? Because tomorrow you will have a listening test and a writing test. So I think we should look at it a little. Let me see. Okay, so it looks like you are doing this one. Practice test 7. Okay, you said practice test 7. Okay, so you heard the listening test. But did you do the listening test at home as homework? Because I'm going to give it to you then to practice, because I'm not sure what he did here. So this is the reading section. This doesn't apply. We did this. You did this, right? Okay, very good. Give me 1 second. Okay, then let's forget about the 7. Let's call on the practice test. Okay, let's look at practice test 8 then. Okay, audio. Writing, listening. Okay, let's see what the writing is. Okay, so writing is not on essay writing. Okay, that's very good. This is much better. Okay, let's see what the first one is. Large cars use more petrol than small cars. Small cars don't use as? You basically have to make both the sentences the same. So you can say a new car is expensive to buy, but you can also say it costs a lot of money to buy a new car. It's like something I was telling you before, that how you can write a sentence in so many ways, right? And most of the time it's all right. But sometimes you'll find that there's only one way to write a sentence. But usually there is many ways, right? Same in our every language. I can say something one way or I can say it another way. So you can say large cars use more petrol than small cars. But you can also say small cars don't use as much petrol as large cars. So let's write it out here. In this case, it would be, okay, I can't put it next to by. Let's see if I can. So we can say here, small cars don't use large cars use more petrol than small cars. So to keep the sentence same, this is a sentence. We can't change the original sentence. So, but we also have to make sure that whatever we are doing here makes sense, basically makes sense to make this sentence right. Small cars don't use as much more petrol than small cars. So what would be the opposite of this, right? Use as much petrol as large cars. So do these sentences mean the same, or do they have the difference in meaning?
It's the same, but in different use, as much or more.
Mm-hmm. So let's see the second one. What is it? Check your tires before a long journey. So if we were to say it in another way, before a long journey, remember to? Well, I even told you half of the answer. Very simple. To check. That's it, right? Check your tires before a long journey. Before a long journey, remember to check your tires. Any questions? Good. Number 3, when I was young, I drove a small car. Wow, when I was young, I didn't drive any car, but this person drove a small car. But if you want to say it another way, I used to dash a small car when I was young.
Used to drive.
Very good. So because used to, we say drive. We don't have to say drove, right? That's because used to is already in the past. So that's a pretty cool thing here. And you guys got it. Thank you for the correct answer. It will be drive, not drove. I used to. The used to part is in the past. So now you're going to say drive, which is the present. But still, it still means in the past because of this used to, But if there was no used to, if this was gone, you would just say, I drove a small car when I was young. And then you could say drove. So very good on this, good job on this one. Number 4, my car windscreen was broken by a stone.
Broke. A stone broke my car windscreen.
Very good. Great. Fabulous. Incredible. 5, who does this van belong to?
Whose van is this?
Yeah, very good. Whose van is this? Simple. So it's very good that you guys have such a great sense of what the answer is, because that's all you need. Like, you would just need that sense to know if it's right or wrong. Let's see a bit more here. We still have 8 minutes. Maybe we can try one of these. But maybe 8 minutes is not enough. This is all listening. Okay, let's do the part 3. That looks quick. Part 3. Audio part 3.
Now turn to part 3, questions 14 to 19. You will hear a teacher talking about a camping trip. For each question, fill in the missing information in the numbered space. You now have 20 seconds to look at part 3. Now we are ready to start. Listen carefully. You will hear the recording twice.
Thank you all for coming. I'm going to give you the final details of our camping trip next week. You may like to make some notes, as there's a lot to remember. The coach will be outside the school on Monday morning at 7:30, and we will set off at 7:45, so don't be late. There'll be room on the coach for 1 bag each, so please don't bring more than 1 bag or suitcase. You don't need to bring tents or food, as that's all provided for us, but you will need to bring a sleeping bag. It turns cold at night, so bring some warm clothes too. If we're lucky though, the sun will shine and we'll be able to use the outdoor pool on the site, so don't forget your swimming things. On to pocket money. Please don't bring too much. You can't keep a lot of money safe. £5 per day should be plenty, so you can buy souvenirs and drinks while we are out visiting places. You'll probably also want to bring some extra money for the last day when you are free. The campsite is in the middle of the countryside, so if you've had enough fresh air by then, you may want to go shopping in the nearest town, about 8 miles away. That's Southport. There's plenty to do there, and there's a bus that stops outside the post office in the village down the road. I'll point it out to you when we get there. On Friday afternoon, before you leave college, please look at the notice board in the entrance hall, as there may be some changes to the arrangements which I need to tell you about. Now, has anyone got any questions?
Now listen again.
Thank you all for coming. I'm going to give you the final details of our camping trip next week. You may like to make some notes, as there's a lot to remember. The coach will be outside the school on Monday morning at 7:30, and we will set off at 7:45, so don't be late. There'll be room on the coach for 1 bag each, so please don't bring more than 1 bag or suitcase. You don't need to bring tents or food, as that's all provided for us, but you will need to bring a sleeping bag. It turns cold at night, so bring some warm clothes too. If we're lucky though, the sun will shine and we'll be able to use the outdoor pool on the site, so don't forget your swimming things. On to pocket money. Please don't bring too much. We can't keep a lot of money safe. £5 per day should be plenty, so you can buy souvenirs and drinks while we are out visiting places. You'll probably also want to bring some extra money for the last day when you are free. The campsite is in the middle of the countryside, so if you've had enough fresh air by then, you may want to go shopping in the nearest town, about 8 miles away. That's Southport. There's plenty to do there, and there's a bus that stops outside the post office in the village down the road. I'll point it out to you when we get there. On Friday afternoon, before you leave college, please look at the notice board in the entrance hall, as there may be some changes to the arrangements which I need to tell you about. Now, has anyone got any questions?
All right.
That is the end of part 3.
So number 14.
7:30.
Correct. Number 15.
Sleeping bag.
Correct. Okay. Number 16.
Swimming things.
Correct. 17.
Drinks.
Drinks. Yes. Correct. Number 18.
Maybe the post office.
Post office. Correct. And the last one, 19.
The entrance. Check notice boards in the entrance hall.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't hear that part. Okay, yeah, sounds correct. Great. I think you guys are good for the exam tomorrow. Do you guys feel ready?
No.
That's funny. No one is ever ready for an exam, but I think you guys are good. You can do it. So yeah, if you have any questions about anything, I'm gonna keep the class open for 2 minutes. If you want to talk to me privately, you can send a chat to me directly here. If you have any questions.
What is the last one? 19.
Oh yeah, let's hear, because I didn't really hear that one either. Let's just play the last part of it. Okay, so let's just...
Board in the entrance hall, as there may be some shopping in the nearest town, about
entrance
8 miles away. That's Southport. There's plenty to do there, and there's a bus that stops outside the post office in the village down the road. I'll point it out to you when we get there. Friday afternoon, before you leave college, please look at the notice board in the entrance hall, as there may be some changes to the
And can you write down?
Huh? Sorry?
Can you write down? I don't know what is and is.
I cannot hear it. Sorry, say it
I
again.
don't know what is entrance.
Oh,
What is
entrance. Entrance hall is when you go into a school. You know, in the entrance hall is the entry. You know, the hall that's when you go to a school or you go to anywhere like a library. When you enter, you know, there's information. All that area is called the entrance hall. Let me show you. Okay, also 17. Okay, what was 17 here? 17 is drinks. So number 17 is drinks. So when people here say drinks, they don't mean alcohol. You know, they say, yeah, adults may say, let's go out for drinks. That means alcohol. But when kids are talking about drinks, they're talking about fruit juice and yeah, number 19 is entrance hall. Yeah, number 19 is entrance hall. But number 17 is drinks. So drinks in this case would be like soda. Because it's kids, right? There's a camping trip for kids, not adults. An entrance hall. Let me show you a picture of entrance hall. So anytime you go inside a building, there's security, there is information. So the entrance hall of a school, for example. Oh my God, what is happening? Entrance hall. Yeah.
Entrance hall means a lobby.
Yeah, exactly. Correct. So this stuff, you go in somewhere, it's a club.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I know. Oh.
Before you go inside a room, before you.
Oh.
All right. So that's the end of the class. Let's see everyone again tomorrow. I hope you guys have a good day. And if you have any questions for the exam or anything, here is my email. I'll check it. If you have any questions, you can email me here. Okay. All right, guys, have a good day. And would you like this test to take home and look at? I can give it to you.
Yes, please.
Yeah, let me download it. And I'll put it here. Okay. So take that document from the chat. And you can leave when you've taken the document. All right, I'm gonna mute. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.